Hey there, and welcome to another tutorial. This week I decided I'm going to go over how dynamic lighting works. There has recently been an update that kind of overhauled the system on Roll20, and even though it made it much easier for people to understand, I still know that DMs and other people are generally having trouble with dynamic lighting on a case-by-case basis, especially people new to using the system. So I figured we'd just go over it and make it as quick as painless as possible, because honestly, and once you do know, it is actually a very simple system. So first thing we need to do is just launch the game. I do want to give a shout out to tubersongs.com, whose music we are listening to right now. They are a free source for fantasy type music, and yeah, they don't charge anything. So Alright, and now that we're on our map, we want to make sure that our map, all the map areas and tokens or whatever you might have down for it is actually on the map layer, which is this. This is a map that I created on Incarnate, something else that I've done videos for. It's a great map building tool that I use for most of my campaigns. But anyways, if we click the top here, where you need to go over to the settings on the map, which we just click the little gear icon next to the map, and then just click dynamic lighting. And as you can see, it is updated. They say it's an active development. I haven't really had too many issues with it, though the dynamic lighting in the past has really had a lot of issues, but recently I think it works a lot better than it ever has. Anyways, so we just need to turn on dynamic lighting, and this is just the general on button. Then we're going to use Explorer mode, which allows players to know which areas they're ready to explore on the map by graying it out instead of just keeping everything black. Daylight mode is, well, pretty self-explanatory, only really used when there's daylight. It just allows you to see pretty much as far as your eye can see. Update when token drop is something else we're going to turn on, and it just allows you to not let the players peek around corners and whatnot without you knowing, because they have to actually drop their token down for them to see what's around a corner. When this isn't on, they can just kind of drag their token over, see what's in that area, and then bring it back without you ever really knowing. And then the GM darkness opacity is just yeah, the opacity of the darkness. It's really just up to your taste. So let's click save, and as you can see, the map has gotten really dark. So that's how you know the dynamic lighting is on. And the next thing we need to do is come over here to the second box from the top. And this is actually your layers options. And we need to go over to dynamic lighting, because that's where we're going to be editing everything. And to do that, we need to come down one more to this little line with dots on it. And you can use either draw shape or polygon/line. The draw shape is actually something we're going to use first, because it allows you to make squares and circles, and we have multiple squares on here that we can really use that for. And I like to use white just because there is a good contrast to like the darkness, so you can easily see like how well your lines are doing. And with this, it's actually really simple. If you just click and drag, you're going to make a square, but if you hold Alt and drag, then you can make circles. And I'm just going to delete that. There we go. So we're just going to create some squares. And what I really like to do to kind of keep everything even is I do one really good one, and then I copy and paste, and then I just bring that over here. So you can just Control C, Control V, copy and paste. Yeah, you can also right click and copy and paste as well. But yeah, it makes it really easy to just do that for if you have like the same shapes over and over on the map. And then let's go back down to here. We're going to do a polygon/line, and this is how we just create walls. So this is like a sewer tunnel, and we need to create the walls for it. So we just center that bad boy, bring it down, and we'll do that a couple times. And I'm not going to go through every single thing that we need to do while on this video. I'm just going to skip ahead. I just want to show you exactly how these things work. But the last thing I do want to show you is if we scroll down, I do have this boulder that kind of looks like it smashed the pipe. So to make lines for this, all you really got to do is the same way we're using this, a polygon line. We just kind of trace around the edging of the boulder, and I could make this a little bit more inwards, which would, you know, kind of define more of a shape for the boulder. But I like this because I think players will know that it is a boulder when they're looking at it, and this kind of blocks more vision whenever we get to the end of it. But let me skip ahead and I'll get all this drawn up and then we'll show you the next step. Alright, and as you can see, we have all of our walls created for all of our shapes. And it's not too complicated doing this one. Sometimes it'll get a little bit more convoluted, but this was a pretty simple one. And honestly, it's probably pretty straightforward on how it will usually go for you whenever you're building maps. Anyhow, the last thing that we need to do is actually pull out a token, and we're going to use this guy to test out what we're doing. But don't do what I just did, because what I just pulled him out on was a dynamic lighting layer, and he's not actually going to show up as anything. If we go over to like our tokens layer, he disappears just like all these other lines are going to disappear. So let's go back over to dynamic lighting and right click it, and there's this little layer option, so we'll shoot it over to the token layer and come back here. And what we need to do is, I already have, but we need to create a character sheet for them, and this will allow you to test out your dynamic lighting yourself, but also give your characters you know, their character sheet. And I put the avatar out, so it's already should be attached to him. Actually it's not, because I pulled it out of a different area, but you see where it says in players journals and can be edited and controlled by. Just do all players for both of these. And what we're going to do is click this guy, go over to this gear icon, and then this needs to represent your tester. So this, whenever we're about to test it out here in a minute, you'll be able to actually take control of it and see without having to bounce back and forth, which I've done, you know, thousands of times. But similar to your map options, you can go over to your token settings and click dynamic lighting. We have to give it vision, and since it's dark, we have two options. We can either give it bright light, well, three options: low light or night vision. And this is, the total light is just an accumulation of the bright light and the low light. So we're going to give this guy night vision. We'll just say 60 feet and make it easy for us to just peer around. And as you can see, all these little areas lit up, and it shows you pretty well. But if you really want to see what it's like for a player to play on your map, if you click this gear icon all the way to the right over here, and just click rejoin as player. If we scroll down, we can come and see our token down here. And as you can see, it has all these little line of sights with the 60-foot vision, giving you these nice little shadows. And as you can see on the other side of the area right here, like if we go back and forth, we actually have this little grayed out side, and you notice how these insides are black. It's because we haven't actually visited those areas with this token yet, or on this map. And you can actually reset this explorer mode by clicking the option on the map, clicking it on and off. And I think there's a button also just to reset the fog of war, and that will reset all this grayed out area. But yeah, for the most part, this is it. Also, as you can see, when I'm moving my token around, I'm not seeing anything. If I don't have update on token drop, whoever's doing this would be able to see everything that you're kind of like looking at, that you're dragging your token to see. But the update on token drop just pretty much stops you from doing that. But yeah, that's it. That's that simple, you know. I know it's probably a little bit more complicated when you're first doing it. I have been using dynamic lighting for years now as a DM, so I think I'm probably just accustomed to it. But once you understand how it works, honestly, it's very simple to do. And that's pretty much it. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, as you will find more and more tutorials of similar nature in the future as I continue to grow this channel. And liking and subscribing is super helpful for the growth of this channel. So thank you for taking your time to watch the video, and you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.